Hello, Maria Rivera Heath here, and today I am going to talk a little bit about what happens after you experience a shift. Right now, for the next 3 weeks, I'm actually guiding a few people through the course, the online course that I just created and I just launched. And it's the Spiritual Roadmap Toward Wholeness. And one of the people that I'm guiding asked me a question, and her question was, how do I know that I have experienced a shift, or like what happens after you experience a shift, an internal shift? So one of the ways that I know that you can tell if you have experienced a mental shift or an internal shift, something inside, is that you'll have an aha moment. You'll, just like when you go somewhere, you meet someone and you hear something that is, it puts you off, and you're like, oh, that's a shift too. It's just going to, the opposite direction. It's not like aha moment where you're going to want to include that in your life and implement that shift in your life or whatever you have experienced, like a positive shift. But so, like a positive shift would be something that makes sense to you, that brings you something good. When you meet someone or when you experience something that is still an aha moment, but it's something you don't want to do, it's still going through your central nervous system. Okay, so what happens after you hear something, and it may happen today, it may happen while you're listening to this video. So when you experience an internal shift, it shifts your body chemistry. It shifts your central nervous system. But if your central nervous system is on hyper alert at all times, and it's fight or flight at all times, meaning you're not resting and digesting, you're not coming down to have those aha moments or to experience a mental shift, you're not going to be able to have those, to have those experiences. So one of the best ways for you to experience a mental shift or an aha moment is for you to bring yourself down, allow yourself to rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic system, part of the autonomic system. Now, what happens when you experience a shift? What happens when you say, wow, that makes sense, that's a shift, or wow, I never thought about it that way, that's a shift. Something that's just, ding, the light bulb went on, okay? That is a mental shift. Just like when you throw, let's say, when, so what happens after, for example, like, okay, so I experienced a mental shift, now what, right? It's kind of like when you throw a pebble, something made sense to you, you made the association that, yes, I want to implement that in my life, whatever that shift, whatever that phrase or something that you heard or saw or experienced, you want to implement that in your life, then that's when you're not going to see the changes, big changes in your life as soon as you have a mental shift. You can at first, but then the ripples get smaller. For example, it's like throwing a pebble in the ocean, and at first, you see or a lake really, because it's hard to see in the ocean because the ocean has its own waves. But in a lake or in a pond, you throw a pebble, and at first, and you see the ripples, right? And then it gets softer and softer and softer until you can't see the ripples. That doesn't mean that the effect is gone. It's still there. It's energy. Energy never dies. It's going to continue. Whatever shift you're making today, whatever you take on today, you're going to see the big shifts in the beginning and then small ripples forever. The ripples are forever until you put a stop, right? Until you stop that energy flow. Because you can start doing something, and then you stop, and then you'll stop seeing the energy flow. You can always pick it back up. It's similar to if you were going to plant a seed, okay? Whatever, I'm always planting seeds, right? So whenever I meet with you, my intent is to plant seeds to get you to grow and do beautiful things in life. So when you plant a seed in the soil, in the earth, right? So imagine you are the earth, right? And someone above comes and plants a seed in your heart, okay? That person made an intention, set an intention in the earth for this seed to grow. Now what happens? What does the earth do, right? The earth nourishes it, brings the worms to nourish the seed, or maybe it'll eat the seed, maybe it just continues. So there's activity going on in here, right? To feed the seed, to feed it to grow. The sun comes and shines on it, warms it up, also gives it nourishment. So the seed continues to grow, and it will continue to grow until you take that plant and you take it out, right? Or you don't. You let it and you water it. You nourish the seed. You nourish the rock. You nourish those ripples that keep going and going. Same thing with intentions, okay? It's the same thing. But the first comes the shift. You have to set the intention, and then you have to stay in action mode, okay? And this is something that I'm talking about this week in the Spiritual Roadmap Toward Wholeness course, is that you set your intention to make your life different, whatever it is that you want to see. Now, you can stay in the comfort zone, which would mean you don't plant the seed or you don't throw the pebble because you're comfortable fine sitting there doing nothing, but you're fine. There's no harm in that. It's just you're okay. There's no shifts that you're looking toward. Now, throwing the rock or planting the seed is transition. You're in action. Feeding it, okay? Doing the work is the transition phase. The more action you put in your transition phase, the more difference you're going to see in the future you, right? And that future you can be really close to you. It could be far away. The goal is to always stay in the transition phase, the action phase, because you're going to be in action towards a lot of stuff. You're going to be in action towards your education. You're going to be in action in your marriage. You're going to be action in your individual life. You're going to take action if you want to read more books. You're going to take action in many different ways. Action comes in, you'll see it, okay? But here's another thing. In order for you to create shifts in your life, always remember that your central nervous system is kind of like your liver, okay? Your liver detoxes everything that goes inside, okay? Either your essential oils that you put on your face, or if you put on like shit that you shouldn't be putting on your face with a lot of chemicals, your liver is gonna detox all of that. It has to. You put in junk food, it detoxes junk food. You put on healthy foods, it's gonna detox healthy food. That's your liver. It detoxes everything. Your central nervous system detoxes everything too. Your central nervous system detoxes all of the social media. You get it into your eyes, into your brain, and through all of this stuff that happens, right? You start to make associations unbeknownst to you because your subconscious is there working all the time. If you watch TV, you watch a certain type of movie, your central nervous system is detoxing from that. It is taking it in. It will shift it out, okay? It'll say, no, I don't want to. It's anxiety, it's depression. All of these signs is your central nervous system communicating with you, okay? So just know that whatever you look at, whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you sense, your central nervous system is communicating with everything around you. So be very particular and be very picky as to what you allow in, okay? Same thing with your liver. Whatever you allow in, nothing here, we're not perfect. It's not like you're never going to eat a cookie ever again. You're going to have that. Just do whatever it is that you need to do to stay the healthiest, okay? Because your central nervous system is detoxing just like it needs to detox anyway, just like your liver does, okay? It goes hand in hand. And you can't expect to feel good if you're feeding yourself shit. There's no way. You can't eat shit and feel good. Can't do that. And what I mean by that is you can't like feed your eyes shit or listen to shit or, you know, experience shit around you and expect to feel good. It's not gonna fucking happen. Okay? You have to take responsibility for yourself and feed yourself as good stuff as possible. Positivity, good stuff, mindfulness, yoga, hiking, walking, dancing. Put the headphones, listen to good music and just dance. Listen to old music, you know, like I do. I listen to old 80s music. So listen to whatever music it is that brings you joy and do more of that so that you stay the healthiest. Okay? And then your anxiety will go down, your parasympathetic, your rest and digest system will like it because you're going to rest more, you know, and you're going to take care of yourself more. And the more that you take good care of yourself, the happier you're going to be. Okay? So one of the things is stay in the transition phase, stay in the action phase. Always do something good for yourself every day, no matter what. Okay? So this is the tidbit that I have for you for today. Oh, and before I forget, the online course has closed. I closed it on Sunday. I have no idea when I'm going to reopen it again. I'll reopen it again sometime next year. And then we'll do the 21 days, maybe a little bit longer. It all depends how I see this launch going, and then we'll resume sometime next year. But until then, I left the link upstairs or up there, not upstairs, but up above or sideways, wherever it is, for you to download an audio masterclass, which is 15 minutes, and it also gives you some prompts to get you started along the way. And whatever, if you decide to download the audio masterclass and you do the promptings, take those prompts to your therapist. You know, take them to your therapist because you're going to get a lot more out of it. Okay? So once again, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening. And I appreciate that you are taking a look at this because we need to heal. Okay? We need women, us, we need to heal. We need to stop this stuff that's going around in the world that is not feeding us. It's not going to feed our future children. It's not going to feed our future daughters and sons. We need to be healed so that we can give what we have. And if we don't have it, we got to go get it. All right? So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for listening. Namaste. Thank you.